What's going on, Workforce? Brian here, and in today's video we're talking about my top 5 quality of life adjustments that I'd like to see them make to Eureka right now. As always, I'd love to know what your thoughts are, so please let me know in the comments below what quality of life features you think would make Eureka a much better play experience. But without further ado, let's jump in to my top 5. Number 5, Party Finder. There is a counter argument to this that the obvious strength is that people are communicating, more shouts are going out. But when thinking of PS4 players who might not have keyboard and mouse and might just be using the controller, the Party Finder would be a huge asset. And as a party leader, using the Party Finder would be a huge asset as well, because if you're in the middle of farming out NMs, you could easily just set your party to open and allow people to join in that meet your requirements. I don't want them to take away the looking for party. That flag is very important and very helpful when forming groups. But the easy ability to open up your party, especially if you have somebody who has to leave because they're getting timed out, would be a huge asset to any leader's regimen. My experience with this is that I was the leader and I was healing, and I had to quickly try to kind of balance healing and also trying to fill in one final slot, where it would be a lot easier just to say, hey, make this open. Any DPS or tank or healer could join in as long as they are at a certain elemental level. This would have taken off a lot of stress during those moments, especially when an NM spawns and you're trying to balance your priorities. And to take that a step further, it'd be great if this was just a party setting that you could control in Eureka, where automatically any group coming in could see open parties as opposed to having to register within the Party Finder itself. But regardless, Party Finder is a huge benefit, and they should absolutely add this as quickly as possible. Number 4, books, or some kind of subquest that is taking a part as you are leveling in your camps. Now, this was a concept that's obviously inspired from Final Fantasy XI. Eureka is heavily inspired from Final Fantasy XI, and in that system they introduced these books in which that just kind of gave you this generalized quest of kill this number of enemies. Nothing too dramatic. But I would like to see them gamify this mode and this camping system a little bit more. Can you try to kill the next 5 monsters faster than you killed the previous 5? What can you do to help really just make a little bit of a game out of it? The chain system exists, and it is doing that to the extent. I'd just like to see more of it. More ways that the system can chain these things. Group element A to element B to element C. I'd like to see a little bit more game surrounding the camp and grind the NM spawns. Number 3, I think this is a huge one. Group level sync. As groups level, you'll find to see that people are looking for certain level ranges in their elemental level, but as new players come in, you're going to start to see a wealth and a gap between these levels. What the system needs to introduce is the ability for everybody to sync to a selected party member. So whether that's the lowest or a mid-range, but that way they could sync their elemental level so that you're not taking experience penalties at higher levels. I've played already with a couple of friends of mine who are already higher level than me, and so they're automatically taking a loss in experience just to help me out. And at some point, that gap's going to become rather dramatic. And then for a new player coming into the system in a couple of weeks, when everybody's much higher, it's going to have to happen. It's going to have to happen sooner or later. So group level sync for your elemental level in Eureka is a must, and I think we need it as soon as possible. Number 2, the ability to invite your friends into your party and instance from within the instance. One thing I see happening a lot with this is that whenever your friends or your link shells or your free companies come online, groups will lose people. They will go and join their friends, rightfully so. You want to play with your friends, and that makes sense. And because they don't have the ability to invite them into this specific instance, the only option right now is to leave Eureka and then go from there. And this just ties into the general Party Finder not being there. Why are people leaving? Well, either they're timing out, or some of their friends are coming online and they're going to go regroup. They're going to go disband and figure this out from this perspective. So hopefully we get to see this soon, because this would be a huge help to be able to invite your friends without having to abandon the entirety of a group already formed in Eureka. Number 1, the big one, especially as somebody who, coming from 11, would really want to see this ability in the whole game, but just to accept this in Eureka, we need to see re-raise. Re-raise for healers would be a great ability, and or they could make this some kind of scroll that is only purchasable and usable in the land of Eureka. As players level up and get to the part where they're losing XP and or the ability to level down, re-raise could be a critical thing that could really help save some of this pressure. I'm not saying make it instant, not saying make it easy, I'm not saying make it cheap. I'm just saying make it available and an option for healers to be able to take advantage of that. If your other healers go down and there's no one else around to raise you, it can feel soul crushing. So re-raise for healers. Who's with me? Alright, so that is my top 5 quality of life adjustments that I want to see made to Eureka right now. I'd love to know your thoughts and your feedback. Are any of your items on this list? What are your top 5 things that you'd like to see made to the forbidden land of Eureka? Sound off in the comments below. If you like this video, hit that like button, share this with your friends. But for Work to Game, my name's Brian. Thanks so much for watching this video. We hope to see you on our next. But until then, we hope you have a fantastic day and take care.
Hey everybody, Brian and Chuck here for Work to Game. Chuck wants to tell you that you should totally subscribe to the channel. And that you should totally hit that like button. Oh, and then we also got t-shirts on sale for some reason. That's a little bit mean, Chuck. I'm not crazy.